Sarah had been walking through the desert for 3 days and nights. Just when she was about to give up hope, she suddenly spotted an overturned car in the distance. She rushed over and opened the door to find her husband's body inside. Even more horrifying, she heard weak moans coming from the back seat. Her daughter Emma was badly injured. It turned out that when her husband had come to pick her up with their daughter, they'd encountered 2 poachers. Fearing exposure, the killers shot the man and then crashed the car to stage an accident. Just when they thought both witnesses were dead, Emma had survived. Sarah set up a tent to treat her daughter when she suddenly heard the roar of engines. Through her binoculars, she saw the 2 killers returning to destroy the evidence. Mother and daughter quickly hid behind a sand dune, helplessly watching as the killers burned the car and buried her husband's body. They were now the only witnesses, and the killers began scouring the desert for them. Sarah had no choice but to carry her injured daughter across the deadly desert on foot, fleeing for their lives while erasing their tracks. The next morning, Sarah woke to find Emma gone. The girl had spotted a distant camp and gone for help on her own. But the old man at the camp was actually working with the killers. Emma told him her mother was nearby, and while he pretended to help, he'd already contacted the 2 murderers. Sarah watched her daughter walk into the trap but didn't dare act rashly. She could only observe from afar. Suddenly, 2 pickup trucks roared into the camp, the very killers who'd murdered her husband. Emma recognized them and trembled with fear. The killers demanded to know the mother's location, threatening to bury the girl alive in the desert. Sarah knew she had to act, but she stood no chance against 3 armed criminals. Her only opportunity would come under cover of darkness. When night fell, Sarah quietly infiltrated the camp. While the killers were distracted, she cut the ropes and freed her daughter. But during their escape, Emma accidentally knocked over an oil drum. The loud crash immediately woke everyone, though they managed to hide in time. At dawn, they began fleeing again. After 3 more days and nights, they still hadn't escaped the desert. Desperately thirsty, they were amazed to discover what looked like a lake in the distance. Emma immediately ran to drink, but her mother stopped her just in time. It was stagnant, poisonous water. Emma was on the verge of a breakdown, insisting on drinking, but her mother held her back. The girl lost control and swung a rock at her mother, who had no choice but to fight back. She couldn't just watch her daughter die. They eventually reconciled and continued forward. Suddenly, a sandstorm swept in. The fierce winds blew away Emma's notebook, and she recklessly rushed into the storm to retrieve it. Her mother immediately chased after her, but when the sandstorm cleared, Emma had vanished. Sarah grabbed her binoculars to search everywhere, only to discover that the killers had caught up with them.